When it comes to smoke and mirrors, nobody beats Elon Musk. And when it comes to Elon Musk's smoke and mirrors, nobody can hold a candle, actually you wouldn't want to hold a candle or a match, to the Tesla Roadster 2.0. A good-looking car, released in 2017 when it came out the back of the Semi, when the Semi debuted. Yes, Tesla are making Semis now, but they're still not making a Roadster after taking $50,000 deposits off people, US that is, for the Foundation series, and then just holding their money in basically what you can only say is escrow for the last 8 years. Now, it was going to be 2020, then 2021, then 2023, 2024, and now we may see the Roadster, allegedly, according to Lars Moravy, who's head engineer in the project at Tesla, by the end of 2025, or at least a public demonstration. Now, crazy specs. When it was debuted in 2017, the spec sheet was crazy, but since then, EVs have caught up. You know, it was supposed to have 1,000 kilometres range. Bullshit. Just like the Cybertruck was supposed to have like 800 and it's got like 450, you know, and like, but range isn't a problem. But 0 to 100 in under 2 seconds, well, I've got news for you, Elon. Your Plaid you released in 2021 does that already. So that ain't good enough and that ain't fast enough either. The only thing that really hasn't aged like really badly on this is the looks. Franz von Holzhausen, the head designer at Tesla, he draws, in my opinion, some okay cars, some beautiful cars and some very challenging cars, but this is the most beautiful of them all, and it's not hard to see why people would get excited over it. And, you know, you can see that there's France driving it, I think, back in 2017, and I reckon that film's a bit spread up, France, but it sounded cool, it went cool, and it certainly got a lot of interest, but now people are like, Tesla Roadster, meh. So then Elon gets online and he's talking to some takeover event or something, and he's saying how it's going to be soon and it's how it's going to be this. It's not quite a car. It's going to be like the most fun driving. This will be the last real driver's car before autonomy takes over, yada, 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 yada. And then he pops out this little beauty about the cold gas thrusters. So a cold gas thruster is basically a rocket, but it's compressed air. So you take a high pressure tank of compressed air and let it out, pressurize the hell out of it, like think 15, 20,000 PSI, and then release it through a small nozzle to create thrust. You see, the problem is going faster, as I said in an earlier video, than, you know, 1.8 or something seconds, 0 to 100, is that you start to have a physical limitation of engineering of tyre grip versus the road surface. You just can't get the traction. But if you're actually pushing against the air, you've got this big traction benefit. You know, you thrust the same way an aeroplane moves, kind of, and you thrust plus the immense power and, you know, work it out. And Elon's come out and said 1.1 seconds. Now, the problem with this from an engineering point of view is that you need a big tank. It would be the size of a massive scuba tank. It makes a god-awful amount of noise. And you don't want these gas thrusters to deploy in traffic if you're the car behind the Roadster, because it'll probably blow the front off your car. So as a track day only trick, it might be fun, but it's going to add weight, it's going to add complexity. And to me, it's a little bit daft, even to me. And, you know, I'm an Elon simp, as you well know. Daft. But just today, I'm filming this on August 6th, August 5 in the USA, Tesla just applied for a US patent for a fan car. Have a look at that. There's the old Brabham from Alfa Romeo Brabham from the late 70s, early 80s, late 70s, I believe. That was banned because of it. And what the fan car does is it basically generates low pressure under the car to suck, in very simplistic terms, to suck the car to the ground. Now, we've seen this with the McMurtry Sperling that's dominated pretty much everything It's an EV with a massive fan that can generate 2 ton worth of downforce under the car. As a track weapon, it's won Goodwood Festival of, oh, I'm getting well today, Goodwood Festival of Speed, and just basically eliminates anything you want to put next to it. So Tesla are doing a similar thing, but they've taken it one step further. It's actually, when you look at the patent application and understand how this works, it's actually very, very cool. So like an old F1 car, it has sliding skirts that are flexible to seal the car to the road or the channel so that the downforce is there and suddenly doesn't evaporate. It has fans that can direct air through certain channels in the under tray to do certain things. So it's not just, right, I'm sucking you to the road and that's that. It's a lot more complex to that. And the adaptive control or software, which is obviously Tesla's specialty, is what makes it really cool, because it can change amounts of downforce, grip, preempt things, geomap things, so that, for example, different corners and straightaways, you can have different amounts of downforce. Like, for example, down a straightaway, it can suck the side skirts or move the side skirts up, reduce fan load, and give you, another 30 or 40 kilometres, or 50 kilometres and 100 kilometres an hour speed. And as you start to go under brakes to approach the corner, or when it can preempt via vision maybe that the corner's coming, it will then deploy full downforce. So there's going to be a whole heap of tricks here. And to me, it makes a lot more sense than these stupid thrusters that are going to be loud and obnoxious. Having said this, I would expect this system, as you can see all the details of it up there, to run at around 100, 110 dB. So it's going to sound like a big blower vac, a big electric one. Like, it's on the floor sweeper here. I tend to use one all the time, so I'm quite used to it. But it's smart. It's smart technology. It's not stupid. It's able to be worked out, I think, within a budget at a lightish weight. And for God's sake, Elon, just show us the bloody Roadster.